Hi there everyone, it's Paulie here. Yay, with more games for you. Oh, and Japanese strawberry wine for me. God damn, that's good. Anyway, so those those wonderful guys from Stellar Gamer Publications, they do the Cepheus system, which is a 2d6 based role-playing game system, which is based on good old original Traveller. They have done some spin-off games that use the same core system. And this one is really good. This is Superpowered. This is a superhero role-playing game that uses a modified Cepheus engine. And look, this is actually it's an interesting find. Now the guys, full disclosure, the guys actually sent me a copy with this because for some reason they got really keen on sending me all of their new Cepheus Deluxe, which is Cepheus, which I have reviewed before, but now with like a full color illustrated version. It's gorgeous, it's worth getting. But this was just tucked in there, and yeah, this has been a delight. So I am not a fan of the superhero genre per se. However, I am a fan of certain shows that in many ways are a piss take on the superhero genre, or just enjoying it. Miraculous Ladybug, great fun. Venture Brothers, brilliant. Love it, adore it, my favorite cartoon series. And in fact, this would be my choice for doing something like a Venture Brothers based cartoon. Now, this game is in many ways the absolute antithesis of the hero system. This thing is very, very simple. Very, very simple and very robust. So, the core mechanism is a 2d6 roll. High is good. You're looking to beat a difficulty level, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 if it's ludicrous. And you're rolling 2 dice, and you have adds that go to that dice, which is based on skill levels. So if I roll 2 dice and get a 6, but I have a skill level of 2, and whenever I'm rolling against, I add that to my 6, it becomes an 8. Huzzah! Easy, 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 easy. Sometimes you get extra effects for every couple of points you roll over the minimum needed. So great. Now, Traveller and Cepheus and so on normally go ahead to do many, many characteristics, etc., etc. This thing actually doesn't. And this is what's actually fantastic. There's almost nothing numerically and mathsy to making the characters. There's 2 characteristics. So there's endurance and lifeblood, which you roll for. So you roll these and add in a base. Endurance is basically how much you can run and leap and dance and do the kung fu fighting, etc. When you take damage, it comes off your endurance. When your endurance gets to 0, you start getting a penalty on all of your dice rolls and things, and you can't move very far, and etc. Lifeblood is then what you start taking damage wise, and if that gets to 0, over you go. Depending on the game, you might just die, or as it gets to negatives or whatever, you fade, you go. But it is actually fairly hard to kill someone because it's not quite that genre. It's not quite shot to the head and down they go kind of thing, because this is superhero. But you've got those 2 characteristics. You have 7 different skills, and these include things like combat knowledge, physical, which is exerting yourselves and using strength and so on, social skills, stealth, superpower, the use of your powers, and technology, are you a great computer hacker, etc., etc. You get 5 points to split up between those. You can only put initially 2 points into any one, but these will add as dice roll modifiers when you are making your dice rolls. The next thing you need to do is find what your superpower is. Now, the power in general is kind of the theme. It's where you draw your powers from. It's where your character thematic comes from. Now, you can invent or choose anything you want, but what they've got is a d6 roll. So you roll 1d6, which is tens, and another d6 is units, and they've got this huge, most of this book, and this is not very, but most of this is the powers, like literally that much of it is a list of all the different powers. Now, within each of these power topics, there are several abilities under them. So what you do is you generate or choose your power, and they say, we're not exhaustive. You are welcome to come up with more and discuss it with your umpire. But within these powers, there are abilities, and the abilities you can see they tend to work within certain guidelines. So if you had something that wasn't covered by the rules, it would be easy to propose it to your games master and say, all right, we'll base it on what these other things do. But you've got a list of these different abilities. Initially, you choose 3 abilities. Now, you can either choose them from your specific power. So I've got, gravity powers or flame powers or, technology powers or mind control. That's my power. You can pick them from that, or there's some general ones that you can choose from, and they are tend to be things like strength and agility and flying and different kind of mobility things. Now, some of these abilities you can take more than once, so the bonuses and effects stack. So if you take kind of super strength, the first time you take it, you get your damage goes from kind of normal human punching damage to like some pretty hefty punching damage. If you take a second time, it pretty much kind of doubles that. And if you take it a third time, it kind of doubles that, because now you're like, you've gone from like, hey, I'm somewhat tough to me Hulk. All of your traits, all of your abilities went into that. So yes, you're now like a super thing. Fair enough. Now, you can also choose to take a weakness. You can either, again, discuss it with the umpire and try and figure out something that's thematic, or there is, again, a very good chart for just rolling a random weakness. And if you take a weakness, you could get an extra ability. And so, those weaknesses are things like you might have NPCs that you have to look after, or you might have a weakness to some strange thing. You can't operate at night. You can only eat honey buns. I don't know. But these do, and it's quite nice having a well-rounded character. The other thing that you now choose is a trait. There's a big list of traits. Many of these traits give you an advantage when you're doing a roll in something, and it's a 2d6 system. If you have advantage in something, you roll 3 dice and you take the best 2 out of the 3. You can also get disadvantaged, and some of the weaknesses will disadvantage you under certain conditions. Again, you roll 3 dice and you take the worst 2. Pretty simple. So a big list of traits, and these ones aren't rolled. You choose. And again, it's a nice flavour to the character, and it can get you something. And some of these traits are things like you are incredibly physically attractive, or you're amazingly wealthy. So you got the Batman Gotham-y thing. Yes, I'm amazingly wealthy in my secret identity, etc., etc. You can make all of these things, but there's also some things are focused on the fact that you're an amazing pilot, or that you're got amazing super secret stealth things. What you would normally find covered by characteristics, that's kind of coming in the traits. This is what you've bought that says, my guy's really intelligent, or my guy's really perceptive at spotting things, or my guy's very beautiful and charismatic, and these sorts of things. So look, that pretty simply is the game. The combat works, you roll for initiative, and then you can move, you do your fights, etc., etc., etc. Now, you're not quite massively super overpowered the way you are in many superhero games, which is why I think this would work really, really well for like a Venture Brothers game, because this thing's way more grounded than the normal superhero game. So things like armor and so on, those are actually a trait that you buy if you want kind of resistance to damage and so on. It's not that common, but this is the only superhero game I've seen where you might end up buying like bulletproof vests and things, because it's like, I want to be somewhat bulletproof. Going to spend a trait on it, or you're going to like, or you're going to get a ballistic vest and some plates. Wait, I can buy those? Yeah, you can buy those. You can do all that. Oh, okay. Wait, I should totally buy all that for my minion army. Yes, you should totally, except that's kind of expensive and your character's not rich. Oh, okay. They've got a nice list of baddies and heroes and supervillains and all this sort of stuff. Now, they've got a nice set of rules for vehicle combat and these sorts of things. So again, this... my conception as I played this and I saw the power levels, yeah, not quite, it's not Superman putting on a flex and destroying everything, and it's not people with unbeatable hyper super cosmic powers. It is that kind of Venture Brothers, Mystery Men kind of, I've got my theme, I've got my shtick, I've got some things I can do. but I could still be, hit with machine guns or blown up or something, unless I take something very specific to fight that. And vehicles, of course, come into it. Like, you want to fly? Okay, well, you could spend a whole trait on it. Probably have to spend 2 to go any real speed. Or you could buy a plane ticket. Or you can have a plane. So yeah, it's a lot more kind of grounded. I've never before really seen a thing with ding ding, the bus stops, superheroes in ballistic armor all jump off. Right, where's the baddies at? So look, as far as playability goes, this thing is monstrously playable. It's incredibly swift to come up with a character. There's only a couple of randomly generated things to mess with, and you are very clearly invited through the whole system to go beyond the mere random charts they've done and invent your own, and you're given guidelines to show how to do it. So it is pretty much infinitely flexible. You can make whatever you want and get playing. Like, no session 0 where everyone's gone off for 9 days, have constructed their character sheet, and now the umpire's got to go through and make sure that you're not stiffing him on the maths, and then check all your powers to make sure you're not destroying the entire game with some stupid thing you've done with, time travel within multi-dimensional travel within, so no, pretty clear and crisp. So look, as a basis for a superhero-y or amazing powers kind of game, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, Venture Brothers, Mystery Men, all these sorts of things, or just flat out superheroes. Yeah, this is an excellent choice. Really simple. It was a little bit funny when I first looked at it. It's like, you don't have characteristics. For role players, that's almost a slap in the face, because it says, no, this was established. You've got to have characteristics. Do you just? On Guard never did. That's got pretty good claim to being the first role-playing game. It just said, what's your social level and how wealthy are you? Oh, okay. This, much the same. How fit are you? How tough are you? And, all right, what's your powers? So, yeah, look, this is well worth picking up. It's a great game for just getting people into. It's a good game. I think it might be a good introductory game for new players, given the popularity of superhero movies and all that sort of stuff. There might be a lot of new young players that might be quite interested in giving superhero stuff a go, and given some of the D&D stuff that's been going on. We have to drink every time we say that. Given the D&D stuff that's gone on recently, people are probably looking for other systems. Thank you very much. So yeah, check this out. I think it's a terrific job, and I think the little split-off games that the Cepheus engine is putting forth at the moment, I think those are actually a nice game system. That 2d6, roll 8 or higher or whatever, is actually it's a really robust system. It's withstood the test of time. 2d6 is a great bell curve. This is inexpensive equipment. No one's got to go out and buy $45 specialized hyper dragon eye dice in order to play. I guess you could still go off and buy a bunch of amethyst or malachite d6s if you wanted to. I did. Yeah. Anyway, Superpowered. Give it a shot. It's from those Sons of Fun, Stellar Gamer, and yeah, get hold of it. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the reviews, by all means, like, subscribe, and all that kind of jazz. Find me on Patreon. Okay, until next time.